Thank you very much, President, Commissioner Malmström and colleagues. Goods have been exchanged for centuries and over greater distances as modes of transportation connected ever further places around the world. And now increasingly also because of digitization, services can be offered anywhere. An interpreter from Australia can translate a book written here in France, or a software coder in India can design a website for someone in Brazil. So clearly the EU, or we, do not create trade. But what we can do and should do is to ensure that rules around trade create a level playing field that is predictable and fair, and that we act with the aim of having higher standards and sharing the benefits. President Xi and Trump show us very clearly what the alternative looks like. Without respect for rules, uncertainty damages markets and people's livelihoods. I think it's a little bit ironic in this context that I hear such harsh criticism from some of my colleagues, not so much about trade, for example, trade with China, but rather about the trade rules and agreements that we're trying to agree on. So I'm glad to see those who are showing leadership. Also, because of our Singaporese partners, with whom we've been in the process of negotiating for no less than 10 years. Singapore is a major modern open hub for trade, services and investment, and a strong partner towards the Southeast Asian region in general. But this agreement will not make the Singaporeans become exactly like us, and neither will we copy them. As always, we are responsible for setting our own laws and standards. And I'm very happy to see that we have been able to convince the Singaporeans to replace the outdated 13 agreements that included ISDS chapters between different member states of the EU and Singapore, to replace that with the investment court system. And we pushed for that. It's good to see the results. It guarantees more transparency, maintains our right to regulate, and creates an appeals mechanism, a greater role for civil society. So those who dislike ISDS, like I do, should actually support this modern agreement with Singapore. I think together we can send a signal. In a time where nationalism and protectionism and populism are rising, that leadership supports openness and that we stand together with partners for fair and rules-based trade.